Hello, everyone. Welcome to the finale of our three-shot of the A stream using Evil Genius Games' Everyday Heroes. If you put exclamation point Kickstarter, you can actually back this game. I believe still in Kickstarter. It's going to be in Kickstarter for another week or two. So if you want to be badasses punching, shooting, riding, because Lottie read one, dinosaurs, check it out. If you put exclamation point incentives, you can donate to help support the cast for bringing their incredible talent and time to this channel and bring some chaos into the stream. If you don't notice, I'm moving very quickly because the last we left off, we were in a collapsing Empire State Building, and Lottie, the captain of our group, is at 1 HP. So, Ed is trying to kill Lottie. I think it's something personal. I don't know.
I love
But I'm gonna
Sam.
throw it over. Actually, I'm gonna introduce myself first. Hi, I'm Drak, Draconics, he, they pronouns, and I'm playing Mr. U. Not related or inspired by Mr. T at all, just a coincidence, whatever. He, him pronouns for him. He is the strong brute. So he's all about punching and taking names and pitying fools. I'm gonna throw it over to Sam, the one that's currently dying.
So I'm Sam, and I play Lottie, who is a part of the Charming characters, a fencer class, pronouns she, her, and yeah, she's currently dying, so we'll see how that goes. And I would toss it to Pie.
Hi everyone, I'm Pi. I'm playing the hacker class, and my character is named Prescription X, but everyone calls her RX. So yeah, I'm in the hacker class, and I already used my explosion, so I came through on that promise. I want to squeeze in another. That's my goal for the rest of the game. And I'm going to pass it over to who are we going to go to? Kimchi, or we can Stella.
Hello. I'm Stella Luna on Twitch, Stella Luna TV on all other social media. Today I am playing Kimchi. Kimchi is a bodyguard using the tough hero class. And I still have explosions and I still have a rocket launcher. I don't know how it's going to help a falling building, but we'll figure it out.
Science.
And I am Ed. I'm playing the GM class and the subclass Forever GM. But I'm here just steering this ship in very unexpected directions. And at the moment, that ship is going down, and it's a very big building. And yeah, I don't know how this is going to transpire either. So we'll see. It's going to be fun.
Do you want to take it away?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, I wasn't sure if there was anything else, but yeah, let's jump straight into it. So, in our finale, episode 3, titled Gamma, 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 a Man After Midnight. So, confronted with the leader of the Night House, the organization currently infiltrating the Empire State Building, he revealed himself as Lancelot. And as he spoke, it became very, very clear that he and Kimchi had a lot of history with one another, and not simply professional. Revealing that his people had been contacted by a man named the Butler, an individual Yu had tangled with before Mr. Yu. They had been told about a secret laboratory towards the top of the building, belonging to the Empire in the Empire State Building, belonging to the US government, and considering their desire to upset the established order and corrupt political agendas, they had leapt at the opportunity. But as the 5 of you discussed this, screams came over the radio, and with Prescription X rigging the lift, you all ascended to the laboratory, where you were met with broken glass, bodies, and a very, very large Tyrannosaurus Rex. Defending yourselves, you were able to fell it, though not without receiving a fair amount of damage, and calling your allied team led by Ryan Rutger, you entered the lab. Inside, you saw dinosaurs, all in glass cages, and outside a hole in the building, the Night House's airship hovering just outside. Observing the creatures, not to mention all of Lancelot's men lying dead on the floor, you soon became suspicious of your supposed ally, Ryan, and his intentions. And pressing him, he revealed his allegiance to the Butler, and your 2 teams came to blows. defeating Ryan and his group, leaving only his subordinate, Air Force John, alive, and having an unconscious raptor now slung over your shoulder, you received a call over the radio. The butler was on the other end, revealing that he had set up just opposite your ex-wife's home, Mr. Yu, and has his sights on your daughter. Reluctantly, you let Air Force John board the Night House's airship, containing a number of dinosaur cages, as you heard the sound of explosives, and underneath you, the Empire State Building began to collapse. So, as the building falls all around you, and the floor is slowly moving to one side, and you can still see the hole in the side of the building, outside of which you see the Night House's airship slowly still hovering in midair as Air Force John begins to climb into the cockpit itself, presumably to take it out of autopilot. What are you all doing as you hear the creaking of stone and metal girders all around you, and the floor is beginning to move to one side? What are you all doing?
I rush over to Lottie and just go, I'm sorry, and just pick Lottie up over the other
You hear,
shoulder.
like a grunt, like.
I'm sorry, yep, and I'm gonna start running. We need to go.
You, can you make a strength check for me to see how successful this pick is?
Don't grab me.
Oh, boy.
1 hit point. All I need to do is touch the floor.
A strength check, that's a 15.
15. You're able to do so, and as you move, the incline on the floor is getting steeper and steeper. What direction are you moving in?
We have to get to the copter, and I'm like just start running towards it. Looking to Kimchi and to RX as well. We need to go.
Kimchi grabs your shoulder. We've got to go.
Okay, but that explosion was awesome, right?
Yes.
See? I did so much better this time. And yeah, let's start running.
Okay.
Okay, so can all of you, with the exception of... Actually, no, Lottie as well. Can all of you make dexterity saving throws for me, please?
Oh,
and Lancelot
boy.
is going to be doing the same as he runs alongside you. Oh, boy. Okay.
Not great. I rolled a 13.
21.
I did not degrade dexterity. I'm not great at dexterity. I got a 4.
Oh, no.
Tell me why I rolled in that one.
Okay, so as you are all running forward, Kimchi and Mr. Yu, you are making your way up this slowly inclining floor as you just hear as this building just begins to flow. And just outside, you can hear the sort of the helicopter blades outside, and you can see Air Force John slowly making his way into the cockpit as the door is slowly beginning to lift upwards. And as you rush, Mr. Yu, you see one of the dinosaur cages beginning to slide across the floor towards you, and you dodge out the way. But Lottie, you are caught head on in the chest as you just fall backwards, and you are rolling across the floor. And as you do so, Prescription X, you see Lottie rolling towards the floor towards you, and you try to step over her, but as you do, it catches your ankles, and you are both on the floor, and you are now sliding down the floor as Lancelot 2 is caught by both of you, and he reaches up and manages to grab a bit of falling debris and holds on and reaches out towards you, and he just misses you, Prescription X, as you and Lottie are sliding across the floor. Kimchi and Mr. Yu, what are you doing as your friends plummet away from you?
Oh my god. It just moving on pure instinct. He's gonna slide down after them. And I think if possible, I want to slide down in a direction where I can land. I can be near Lance, and then so I can hold on to wherever Lance is holding on to. And I want to like try and just force him up, because the less people release, the better. And then after that, I'm probably gonna let myself go to slide after the rest.
Okay, so if you can make a strength check to see what happens with Lance, and then I'm gonna need to make you to make I'm gonna say to slide down. Let's go with athletics check for me. While this is happening, Kimchi, what are you doing as Mr. Yu leaps down this slowly? It is almost becoming a vertical floor at this point.
Okay. Kimchi's eyes dart between Lancelot and RX, and she essentially unhooks one of her belts, and she's going to try to hook it onto something. As she's like sliding down, she wants to hook and try to grab RX.
Okay, I'll say also make an athletics check for me. Mr. Yu, what did you get?
So for the strength, I got a dirty 20.
Amazing, brilliant.
For the athletics, I got a 26.
So you just, as you're sliding down, you push Lancelot up, and he almost rolls up the floor and almost past you, Kimchi, as you are sliding down. As Mr. Yu, you just grabbing your handhold, you pull yourself up and then just push yourself, and you leave this dusty trail behind you as you just slide down towards your friends, almost kind of like that scene in Mission Impossible 3 where he's just like sliding down the glass ceiling, and you are just going down, and reaching, you grab both of your friends by the wrists. I am going to need you to make another athletics check for me. As Kimchi, you reach down, and Mr. Yu is just within reach. What did you get, Kimchi?
I got an 18.
18, amazing. And Mr. Yu?
Is it athletics or strength?
Athletics for this one, I will say.
19.
19. As you reach down and grab both of your friends, Mr. Yu, you look up and you just see Kimchi's hand come down, and you just push up against the nearest thing you can. As Kimchi, you grab his the clothes around his shoulder, and you are just there, this chain of people, as this building is slowly tipping over and over. Kimchi, you are holding everyone at this point. What are you doing?
I'm doing my best. Kimchi works out way more than Stella does, but you can see that she's tensed up and she is trying to focus. Her eyes are closing really tightly. You can see the veins popping out of her arms. Says, I'm not going to be able to hold on much longer.
As you say this, and you're having this proper like Captain America moment as you're just like pulling these two things toward, you just feel another hand just grab hold of your uppermost wrist, and looking up, you can see Lancelot there, hair blowing in the wind as he just sort of, I've got you. And can you make a strength check at advantage, please?
Okay. That's a 3.
Oh no.
That is going to be an 11.
11. So you slowly pull them up, and I will say with this, and as you, Mr. Yu, are slowly, very slowly being pulled up, it is not that Kimchi is doing a bad job by any means, but the building is inclining, and you can see that the helicopter by this stage is almost above you as it's trying to avoid the trajectory of the building as it is slowly. Mr. Yu, what are you doing as you are slowly being pulled up? And indeed, Lottie and Prescription X, if there is anything that you wish to do to help this, feel free.
If there's anything that can be like beneath my feet that I can like push up on to help alleviate some of it.
There are a number of girders that are coming out of the ground, and you can see that there are also some sort of ports where clearly cages have been plugged into that are now loose. So yeah, you can probably find a foothold.
Okay, I want to do that.
Okay, cool.
I have a question. So let's say in an ideal world, the rest of the group are able to get up. Would they be able to get the helicopter, or is that way off outside now?
I mean, this is an action movie, Drak. It's not outside the realms of possibility at all.
Okay, speaking of which,
yeah,
I would like to use the hacker plan, read the fucking manual.
Okay.
Because what I would like to do is the helicopter was previously controlled by like an onboard computer, and that's how it got there to be able to like pick up the dinosaurs and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. I read the manual about like these particular helicopters, and I would like to pull up my phone, hack into the helicopter to try and bring it around to like, and the movie magic at this point, but I would like to like tilt the helicopter so like we can like try to drop into the the window.
Okay, cool. So do you need to make a throw, or do I need to make a save, or does that like just happen?
Let me see. We are level 6. Okay, so at 5th level, I can use my intelligence modifier for attacks and damage rolls with weapons that I am proficient with. This doesn't really do exactly what I'm asking for it to do.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay, so I can use my intelligence modifier for attack rolls and damage rolls with weapons that I'm proficient with, which I'm gonna say is my cell phone. That is the weapon that I use. And so I guess it would be like an attack against the computer's security software to be able to access it and control it.
Perfect, amazing. So if you want to roll for that, as the building and bits of masonry are just falling down around you all, as you just watch Prescription X just bring their phone out and just like sort of like tapping wildly against it. And this is not the time for it at all. But what did you roll, Pi?
Okay. Oh my gosh, what can I do? I am really proficient at computers stuff. I mean, I think the best I can squeak out of this roll is like a 9.
A 9,
I didn't roll very high on the dice.
That is okay. So as you just sort of clicking on your phone, you look up at the gap in the wall above you that is slowly getting larger and larger. And you see the helicopter just move out of sight and away from the hole. And you have no idea where it has gone.
I have a crazy idea. And I would like everyone to just trust me on it.
Consent given.
Okay. You have
Go for
my
it.
character's life in your hands. Okay.
Oh wait, it's gonna be really weird. Okay. So right now, Mr. Yu has RX and Lottie on like in their arms. So he's gonna try and like first shift them up onto like their shoulders, and his shoulders and just be like, hold on. Hey,
Hold
Kimchi,
Okay.
do you want to drop your rocket launcher real quick? And like try and catch it if they do drop it.
All right. And you hear a click as a strap, belt, buckle just gets click, and then it starts to slide down the floor towards you.
And you make a
Okay.
dexterity saving throw for me, please, Mr. Yu, to see if you catch it.
Yeah. It's a 21.
As it falls down, like a perfectly in sync team, Kimchi, you just drop it, and as it slides down, Mr. Yu, you just grab it, and in a single motion, just bring it round. Where are you aiming it?
I will just say my plan, and then we'll see where it goes from there. This is an action movie, so physics be damned. I'm thinking, what if we kind of let ourselves fall, and then in the last few seconds launch the rocket launcher downwards to slow up, or launch ourselves forward. I have Lottie and RX on my shoulder if Kimchi grabs on as well, and Lancelot. It maybe could propel us in a safer, out of the way direction.
You communicate this with the group? Bear in mind, this is almost the top of the Empire State Building.
Yeah. I'll communicate that with the group. He said it in a more confident and I've done this before kind of way than I did.
Lottie would die any other way, so she just grunts out like a yeah, but it's
Okay,
barely
yeah, cool. I think
inaudible.
that's a yeah from Lottie. Everyone else?
Yeah.
We're really gonna use the science works this? Okay, sure, yeah.
Hey, we just met dinosaurs and I punched it to death. So I think we're good when it comes to the science of things.
Yeah.
Lancelot,
I know we just met, but do you trust me?
absolutely not. Go for it.
Yeah, and I guess I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we'll do it.
With everyone grabbing on, I think Kimchi already holding on anyway. I guess Lancelot said he doesn't trust me, but he's gonna go with it anyway. I'm gonna like push. I'm gonna let myself slide down with everybody, and the moment I see like a, because we're almost vertical at this point, the floor is here. Yeah, so I'm gonna launch myself like outwards to the side with everyone in the hopes that the helicopter is in that area.
Can everybody make an athletics check for me, please?
I am very sorry if I kill everyone. I rolled a nat 20, so can I just say my bonus is that I save anyone that doesn't? I'm making it.
I got a 16, so I feel like
I got an
Yes.
8.
Seeing an expression on Sam that I've seen before.
So with Mr. U's nat 20.
Yeah, I
he
rolled a
pulled out the
27 with my
Lottie,
nat
right?
20. It's a nat 20 by 27.
I rolled a 3.
Oh, okay.
So, as
Right,
you
that's what a nat 20 does.
Sure. So as you all jump, and you propel yourself off the floor and towards the slowly, almost horizontal walls of the Empire State Building at this time, you are plummeting through the actual lab itself that is now just on a side angle as you fall down further and further away from the hole in the top of the building, and you are falling towards the actual door that you came in through, and you can see that there is broken glass flying everywhere and all around you. It is flicking against you all, and there are bits of masonry falling around you and crashing through bits of wall as you just hear the... And through the hole above, you can see that the dome of mist that previously surrounded this entire block is slowly beginning to disperse. So much is the ventricle force of this building just collapsing. And as you fall, you see the lift that you entered coming towards you, except you are falling towards the doors, which are now underneath you. The walls to the actual building are slowly coming towards you. Mr. Yu, what are you doing with that rocket launcher?
I am pointing to the wall opposite, so I guess I'm gonna pick an arbitrary direction to the right of us, so you launch us to the left. I'm gonna sort of fire the rocket launcher and hope to get through a window with all of us.
Can you make an attack roll for me, please?
Okay. Let me see if there's anything I can do to make sure this works. Nope. Yep, nope. Okay.
Okay.
That is what does a rocket launcher count as? Is it do you know what kind of weapon that is? Because it's like a advanced, historical, improvised. I don't know if we know. 'Cause I think that affects my.
I'm pretty sure it's its own category, and the damage type is just rocket.
Oh, okay then. In that case,
The damage done is just rocket.
That's amazing. That's a 19.
19. So as you are falling and wind is just flying through all of your hair, you just bring the rocket to bear and you just pray.
Yeah.
And you activate, and you just all feel this as this warm back burner just plummets out of the back of this weapon as a rocket just flies forward, down, 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 and there is a and you just suddenly see the streets of New York underneath you getting closer and closer as you all plummet down through this hole. And as you do so, Lottie, flying past the hole, your head hits the side of it. As you fly down and down and down, you are unconscious once more, Lottie, as you are all falling down. And then, as you fall and the Empire State Building is now above you, as you are plummeting down towards Earth, Prescription X, you hear something in the distance, as the familiar sound of rotors is now underneath you, and you watch as Lottie, tumbling and spiraling through the air, down below you. You see Air Force John still in the cockpit, but seemingly banging against the controls as this aircraft just tips on its side, the door still open, and just hovers underneath you all. As Lottie, you slam into the interior of this. Your fall seemingly cushioned by a number of what look to be bags and netting on the inside. It is not a comfortable fall by any means, but you fall directly into the helicopter as it starts to just adjust itself automatically against Air Force John's protestations, as each of you just into this machine as slowly the door begins to close as the aircraft begins to right itself and slowly moves out. And through the windows of the cockpit, you just see in front of you the remains of the Empire State Building just collapsing into the streets of New York as mist just flies out. You are in the aircraft. All four of you, Lancelot, a number of different cages full of dinosaurs, and in the cockpit you just hear slamming against the controls as you just hear Air Force John, "Come on, god damn it, come on!"
Oh.
Mr. Yu, can you punch him?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna stand up and just sock him across the face.
I mean, he had very few hit points left as he just turns around and you immediately just, and you see his head just slam against one of the windows, which cracks a little bit as he just slides down on the ground, unconscious.
But this is probably a good time to mention that I did not know if that's going to work.
Yeah, I will never not read the manual in the full log ever again. Always read the manual.
Kimchi next to you, Lottie is just prone on the ground, unconscious.
Yeah, Kimchi's first thought upon landing into the netting is just pulling on it, crawling her way over to Lottie and just checking for vital signs, and pulls out a tampon.
Oh my god. This action show is definitely sponsored by a tampon company.
Kimchi, can you make a medicine check for me, please?
I can. That's going to be a 22.
22. You apply the tampon expertly, and as you do so, blood sort of like soaks up, and you, Lottie, are once again stabilized as you just come to in the middle of this sort of the interior of the aircraft. Like I say, there is netting on the walls, there are a number of seats around, and there is just a red light in the ceiling above that illuminates you all in this fluorescent crimson.
As she opens her eyes, very, very groggily, she's just gonna kind of look up at the ceiling of this aircraft. And not looking around at her friends, but realizing that they're more than likely there. Just, why am I not dead yet?
Not on
You've
my
got a lot of
watch.
living left to do.
Just let me die, it hurts.
I think Kimchi will reach into one of the many little pockets that she has on her belt. She just pulls out a lollipop and hands it to Lottie.
Lottie cannot raise her hand, so I'm assuming you like put it next to her mouth and she'll like use her tongue to, like
yeah, it's like, do you want
pull it over?
Oh, okay, here you go.
There is a very satisfying as it just enters, and you just, for a good solid 5 minutes, you just hear a as Lottie just like lies over to one side.
Like the hard candy going against my teeth as
Yeah.
I move it around.
Mhm.
And Lancelot looks at you all and, so you do this sort of thing often?
Yeah.
That specifically? No, not usually in the Empire State Building anyway.
He just looks out of the cockpit, and for the first time as it begins to rise up the aircraft, you start to see the streets of New York again, as the dome of mist has now dissipated almost entirely, and you see the Empire State Building in its entire length across the evacuated streets of New York, just lying in waste, its needle just stretching out alongside one of the many, many, many streets. Where are you flying?
I was just about to ask everyone. I mean, we're kind of just. I mean, we're not immediately in danger, but we're.
Yeah. I think probably the best game plan is to find the mole. We do not want to leave that out here. I feel like, yeah, Tech will be pretty upset with us if we did that. And I guess I have some explaining to do, because I also think we should leave the copter with Air Force John in it and let it go wherever it needs to go.
What? The mole was Ryan, right?
Oh no, I mean the mole is in the thing we dug through the ground with. That was called the mole as well. I think. Was it the mole?
Yes.
I think I named it.
Yes.
I might have just named it the
Yes.
mole myself. Oh, it was.
No,
Okay.
it was the mole. I did. It was confusing. which
Yeah, no,
I'm
that's
not
fair. We
blaming
dug
on the
multiple moles
GM
today.
at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that if I remember correctly, like the big bad guy is probably around your family, Drak, or
Yes, that's actually what Missy's about to bring up. Yeah, I think we're probably going to have to let Air Force John go. I'll be up front, honestly. Best thing to do, especially when lives are on the line. Before that, I need gestures to the collapsed building. On a piece of shit that we had to deal with. On his radio, a call came in. And assuming it was backup, I wanted to make sure they don't show up, because, you know, after what we did to the main ones, they probably don't want to mess with us. But it turned out to be the butler on the other end. And I mean, naturally, after foiling at least this part of the plan, I was going to gloat, but seemed like he almost saw it coming. He's watching my ex-wife and daughter right now. From what he said, I think he's quite literally moved in next door. And obviously, being the butler, he didn't outright say it, but very clearly is threatening their lives if I interfere. And one of the requirements for him to not mess with, honestly, the best thing in my life, is to let Air Force John go, and for me to step away from following any leads of this mission.
Taking stock of what's in the copter, are there dinosaurs, multiple dinosaurs in here?
There are. So looking around, you can see that there are probably around 10 cages that are in here, presumably from before the T-Rex got out and essentially murdered the rest of the Night House. So there are a number. You can see that there are there's a baby Diplodocus off to one side. There's raptor. There's a very small Triceratops as well. And there's a real mixture here. And the unconscious raptor that you sort of obtained before is also lying on the ground of the helicopter next to you, still very, very much out.
so we're going to punch this butler in the face, right? That's what we're gonna go. Everyone, yeah.
Yeah, no question.
Lottie gives a silent, weak thumbs up, and then like it flops back down.
Don't move too much, Lottie. Thank you.
Yeah, we should probably get Lottie like a body band-aid.
Yeah.
Kimchi
like a full
puts, like,
body
a-
cast or something.
It's a Hello Kitty band-aid on your forehead.
Just one.
Yeah.
Lottie's by
It's like,
this time is
it's not even on a cut or anything, just straight up on their forehead.
she's done with this sucker by now and just like spits out the stick and opens her eyes up at Kimchi and just like, what kind of design is it?
This particular one has a very cute cat and some stars.
You know, not gonna lie, I'm not surprised it's a dog.
I'm full of surprises.
As you're there, Lancelot, you see just sort of like smiles a little at this exchange, and then over at you, Mr. You, just, I know we got off on the wrong foot, all of us, but you saved my life, and I can't help but feel I've been played. So if I can do anything to make amends for you, your family, and for you, Kimchi, I'm happy to help.
I turn to RX and just we've worked together enough that we probably have like signals and signs, right?
Yeah.
I feel like enough. So like I'm gonna do like a quick like that to be like, can you check for bugs real quick?
Yeah, I'll like pull out my phone and begin to go towards the cockpit. And maybe I'll kick Long John in the face again because he deserves it.
There is a very satisfying and he just collapses a little bit more.
And then I will run scans internally on the system's computer and see if there's any bugs.
Lovely. So if you can make a computers check for me, please.
Okay, hopefully this one goes better. Oh, nice. 21.
So looking, it doesn't look like as though there's any bugs or anything. This is very much Night House tech. There's nothing there untoward or anything that you're not expecting. There is an autopilot. There is also a manual function, which has yet to be activated by yourself. You are still very much steering this thing on your phone. But no, nothing surveillance-wise, really. You get the impression that the Night House don't employ much in the way of either microphones or cameras, and you assume this is probably to maintain as much anonymity as possible.
Okay. What about GPS?
So yeah, there is GPS. It is encoded and encrypted, but you're able to get past this fairly quickly, I'd say, with that roll. So it keeps them off the grid, but it allows them to very much see what is on the grid and enables them to get places more easily, like a fancy sat-nav.
Okay. With this GPS, and I know I'm asking a lot about the GPS now, but with this GPS, be able to tell me like the last like couple of locations that someone had entered into it as like directions to go to?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I would say that there are two locations that you would probably be able to ascertain from that. So there is one which is it looks to be an island just offshore. And you gather from what you're able to look through, looking at the logs and things like that, this appears to be a base of sorts for the Night House, or at least what likely remains of it, and you suspect that Lancelot might be all that remains of it. There is, however, one location that is different. And as you look, at first you think it might just be like a glitch in the system, but the more you look into it, the more you realize that no, it is legitimate. And very strangely, it looks to be a fairly suburban area. It looks to be residential in nature, but it looks like this particular visit was a very quick drop-off and then off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm gonna look to Mr. Yu and say, well, it looks like we just got our invitation to go and play in the burbs. I think I might have found the location of the butler. Are we going now? Are we patching up Lottie first?
I think we should definitely patch up Lottie first. But yeah, I think at the very least we should let Air Force John go just to buy us more time. I don't plan on stepping away from this at all. The butler made it personal, but I do want to buy us more time. I don't want to drag them into all of this. Yeah.
I know the perfect place to put these dinosaurs.
Oh. Yeah. Where?
Kimchi comes up to like RX and like offers to like type in an address, and it's Kimchi's house.
I knew it.
Kimchi, didn't you just get a new foster?
I've got a lot of space.
So as the aircraft makes its way towards these new coordinates, Stella, would you like to describe Kimchi's residence?
Oh yeah, okay. So, essentially we get this really wide vista shot as the helicopter comes around, and there is this sort of forested mountainside, and right on one of the cliffs kind of built into the side of the geography here is this very sleek looking building. It has these wide windows, and it's definitely one of those houses where it's just windows, lots and lots of windows, because there's tons of privacy out here. And you see that there is like a small pasture, kind of manicured, well manicured, and there's walls around it. And as we're coming over, we see that there are just a shitload of dogs running around freely in the little pasture there.
There's a lot more than I remember. Okay. You might have to introduce me to somebody.
Yeah. I spent the last couple of years putting all of my paychecks into this.
I mean,
Well-
it looks like a doggy paradise.
It looks like a paradise of some sorts for some people. Okay,
Yeah.
let's sit down over here. Can you shoo the dogs away so we don't I don't want to get caught up in the blades. you
Yeah,
know?
of course. Kimchi just rappels down from the helicopter into her backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm seeing if there's not an animal. Weirdly, in a modern action thing, there's no animal handling check. So I'm gonna say
Survival.
yeah, survival. Yeah, I'll say an advantage. These are your babies.
There's also natural
Yes.
sciences.
Oh.
Could be it.
My
Yeah,
my
natural
bonus in
sciences, yeah.
that is a little lower though.
Just kidding. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
It's a dirty 20.
Day 20. So you just sort of, as you go to the window of the aircraft, you see all of these dogs just looking in the direction of the machine, and you just, without having to do much at all, you just sort of make a very simple hand gesture, and all of these dogs just immediately stop what they're doing, shuffle back a little bit, and then just sit. And you see their tails just doing that thing where like they freeze just before they start wagging again. They're all just waiting and looking up, just as this vehicle slowly begins to descend. And eventually it lands, and there is as the ramp slowly begins to open once more, and all the dogs just stand in a circle around the machine, just waiting for a signal.
Kimchi steps off of the helicopter, reaches into one of her many pouches, and pulls out a brightly colored rubber ball. And she's like, "All right, y'all, it's time to go inside." And she just starts running towards her house, and she opens the door and chucks the ball in.
There is a
Oh my god.
pause, just like as they just like this avalanche of fur and paws and tails just cascades through, and you just usher all of these dogs in as until eventually there is just one tiny chihuahua just patters in through the door with a and all your dogs are safely inside the house as the rest of you step on out.
Incredible trainer. I always say this, and that's incredible.
So this is your safe house then?
Yes.
Right. Question, are the dinosaurs to become a permanent placement, or
I don't think so, but I don't know about all of you. I'm not comfortable bringing the dinosaurs to the butler.
Why not?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to do the same thing, little explosion, bing bong bing.
Well,
I
and
mean-
you hear Lottie just grunting out. To be fair, if we bring dinosaurs to him and he's near Mr. Yu's daughter, that puts his family in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I have a question. Once we've hopefully dealt with the butler, what is the plan with these creatures? Because I don't know how comfortable I am with your agency having access to these creatures, if I'm honest. And we are putting our cards on the table.
No, I understand.
That's pretty fair.
What would you suggest?
I mean, up until an hour ago, I had no idea that this was the cargo that we were coming to claim. So I don't know what you do with 10 extinct creatures.
I mean,
Well, it sounds like we're Jurassic Park. That's what we're legally distinct. Jurassic Park is what we're. So we can't kill them.
yeah, it's not their fault that they are alive.
Exactly, Mr. Yu gets it.
I could try to reach out to some of my foster contacts.
No. Kimchi, please.
All
I don't
right.
think we need to put dinosaurs in anybody's hands.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, while we perhaps come to a decision on that front, you, and he looks at you, Lottie, you look like you need to rest up. I'm sure the rest of us need to do the same. I have a little bit of a battered wing myself, but what is our plan of action?
Rest is nice.
Yeah, do you need help getting out? I can carry you if you want.
Please, I'll never ask
Okay.
again. And you
Okay.
never ask again, but today it's okay.
I'm gonna scoop up Lottie. I was like, kind of hold Lottie in my arms.
She just grimaces. 'Cause everything
okay.
hurts.
Sorry. What I'm thinking is, because at the end of the day, one of the requirements, one of the things that the butler did ask for was for us to let go of Air Force John. I guess we do that. We drop him off somewhere.
Oh, I can just get rid of the back door that I created in that shopper. Just let him go.
I mean,
Question. The butler, I'm assuming he was hoping the explosions were likely to tie off any loose ends. If Air Force John goes there, he saw you punch him in the face. Surely the butler will know you're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His death will just be later.
I'm thinking more of your ex-wife and child, I suppose.
Okay. No, that's a good point. The explosion, for all he knows, could have taken out Air Force John. So I think we keep him here. For any questioning we might want to do. I will be honest, as much as I've been with the agency for a while, I'm not entirely sure if I trust them with everything, so I don't even think I want to bring him in yet. I don't know if there are any other moles or traitors in there. I think we keep him here.
All right, you. I trust you.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you. I appreciate it.
Right.
Okay, let's get you
Well,
over to your bed, Lottie.
I don't know about.
Let's get you to bed, Lottie.
And as you're stepping forward, Kimchi, you just sort of feel Lancelot pass by, and he just sort of nods at you. And I didn't think these would be the circumstances I'd be seeing your place for the first time, but
Kimchi blushes. It says, "So who wants a tour?"
I do.
The interior.
I've already gotten your Wi-Fi password, so
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For everyone else, it is I love dogs. 6969.
You hear
Nice.
Lottie grunt out. Nice.
Okay. God, I'm pervert.
The interior of Kimchi's house is, oh my god. So it's very like live, laugh, love vibes, but just dogs. So there's just like dog themed mats, dog themed chairs, dog art, dog carpet, dog TV. Plates are little dogs. The cups got dogs on them. It's very, very over the top.
So you all enter, and as you do so, is there anything anyone is wanting to do over the next couple of hours? Any interactions or conversations anyone is wanting to have?
Go sleep.
Yeah. The big dog-themed bed, you sort of pull up some like
It's a dog bed.
Yeah,
It's a massive dog bed that's for
Just
like
plop
human
Lottie
size.
there.
and like blue duvet with lots of bones on, just like up to your chin, and
a puppy to snuggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Lottie
dog's
in.
free range everywhere.
You know, when dogs lick wounds, it helps to heal it faster. So you see Lottie just lying on a dog bed, not covered, just kind of like sprawled out, just like, all right, do your worst.
they do their worst for a while.
And you just hear her like, ow, 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 but accepting it. And then eventually she's gonna fall asleep.
Prescription X, is there anything that you want to be doing?
Yeah, I actually want to go find Kimchi and say, so Lance, seems like maybe there are some flames that I sense.
Kimchi's in the middle of cooking up some Korean barbecue for everyone to make like a big dinner, and she's like, I don't know what you mean.
Don't
Do you like
know what
spicy
I mean.
food?
Yes, I do. Don't change the subject.
I have the best kimchi in the
Okay.
entire state.
Mm-hmm.
Super spicy, gonna melt your tongue off.
Sure. Just
Yeah.
like Lance does that with your hormones.
Listen, we don't have to get into it. It's just, it's the dying flame, and you see she's just like stabbing this meat as it's getting cooked.
Well, I feel like you're very passionate about this meat. Maybe you're also, passionate for Lance? I mean, just, he's here in your house with all the dogs. Be honest.
Well, it is nice to see him again.
See, how hard was that?
Can
Very
you
hard.
take over for the meat?
Okay.
I gotta go check on something.
Sure. And I'll just like grab the pan and like put on like an apron and go, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Yeah,
Start
can
sauteing.
you make a I guess arts and crafts check for me? That seems like the closest thing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh wow. I got a 5.
It's you can smell the smoke, Kimchi, as you start to walk away, and there is a very distinct and you just like power on. As this conversation is happening, Mr. You find Lance just sitting outside, and he looks across at you and, so, ex-wife and kid.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you understand. It's kind of hard to keep a healthy relationship in our kind of line of work.
I am familiar with the feeling, though it doesn't stop one from pining, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah. She's incredible.
She is. But hard to maintain a relationship in this kind of work, like you say.
Yeah.
So where does that leave? He sort of gestures vaguely and then looks back at you.
We're good. You said I saved your life, but you saved mine. So, I apologize for coming off so hostile for illegitimate reasons, at least at the beginning.
I said I've been played. All of my people are now gone. I am alone. The Night House is all but dead. So I know who I'm pinning that on. And I know that I want revenge, so like I say, I'm here to help. But as for Kimchi, like you say, she's incredible. And he sort of pats you on the back and heads off.
He's just gonna, I guess, just sit down on the porch or wherever the equivalent we have of that, and just stare out until he dozes off, or until, I don't know, a pup comes up to him and he kind of like pets it. Sits there with it.
This happens a number of times as you look out, almost like a little conveyor belt. There's like at first like a small little pug just comes out and then goes back in, and then a cockapoo comes out. And then,
okay,
and then an Alsatian, like, and then
did the cockadoo tell you about? Okay, then cool. I think you're just spreading the news. Okay.
I think Kimchi goes to find Lottie and is essentially like changing your bandages and giving you some painkillers and all of that. And she's just rambling and she's giving you zero context. And she's just like, I just have a lot of love to give, okay? And, you know, sometimes people manifest that by, you know, trying to take care of things, or dogs. Dogs. You get it, right?
Lottie's got like one eye open and is just kind of like listening. You need a therapist, sweetie. You've been going through it.
I have. Work's been tough. Hours are long. Oh.
I think it's your relationships.
You know, I've got my dogs. Just focusing on them and me, and that's. So what about you? Is there anyone special in your life?
Lottie rolls over.
There is a distinct crack as you do so. So, I will say that Lottie, you are able to achieve the closest thing to a long rest that you can. So everyone, likewise, you all receive full hit points back and all of your abilities and whatnot. But what are you doing once you have rested, once you have come to? The sun by this point is setting, and a lovely, beautiful orange glow just stretches through the kitchen windows and across the very lovely and, of course, dog-themed table that stands in the center of Kimchi's dining room, as a number of dog-themed glasses are laid out, and the somewhat burnt kimchi that Prescription X sort of serves out on the table just sort of fills the room with a lovely aroma once you fight past the initial sort of smoky sensation. But Lance sits down at the table and starts to pour out drinks for everyone. But yeah, what is everyone doing? What's everyone discussing?
I'm gonna come out like with like the pot and like pot holders and like the apron, and maybe like there's like some light like I don't know soot on my face from another explosion. And I'm gonna say ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, come on everyone, let's get it, it's ready. I hope you all like it. And I'm gonna just because I just sauteed meat and now I think dinner is ready, so I'm just like putting meat on everyone's table and it's like burnt, crispy, just probably a little rubbery, but hey everyone, I hope you love it. I really like, I know that Kimchi made the recipe, but I wanted to add my own prescription to it, you know?
Nice one.
You know? You get it?
Yeah, that was
I
good.
thought about that for a while.
That's a good one.
It
I'm on a
definitely.
diet. I forgot to mention that. I'm on a
Yeah, you're on the keto diet, so tons of meat. Let's go, Mr.
I forgot
This
I
is-
mentioned that.
Protein.
Protein. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, this is one of the best things I've ever had that you've cooked. Prescription X.
Just imagine, we all could be dead right now, and now you're having this delicious meat.
Yeah,
I'm
you could have
thrilled.
died.
You
coulda
know,
died.
Don't let's stop joking about death. It's not pleasant getting close.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair.
She's like
sorry.
all bandaged up, but she's feeling a little better. So she's sitting up in the chair, picking at this food, but enjoying it nonetheless to the best
like,
of her ability.
I'm like eating. I'm like, when RX turns away, like feed it to one of the dogs and just go, great, that was delicious.
Make sleight of hand check for me, please, Drak.
Damn it. Sleight of hand. Oh fuck, man, it's not very good. Okay. I'm gonna use, because I remember to have this. I'm gonna use a luck point to reroll.
Wow, is that bad that you're gonna use a luck point after?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a bit better. That's a 12.
12.
I rolled a nat 1 last time.
I'd say, like, Prescription X, you definitely see Mr. Yu's hand, like, go under the table, but you see no food, and you see the food disappearing off his plate. Like, he appears to be eating, he appears to be enjoying, but it does definitely seem to be darting his hand down to stroke the dogs underneath with quite a lot of intensity, it has to be said.
Wow, Mr. Yu, I truly, you could have told me, you know, that you were so into, you know, the way that I sauteed this Korean barbecue, and I'm just gonna throw like 2 more pieces on his plate, like, keto diet, let's go.
You know, we're gonna be doing a lot of, like, thank you, this was great. We're gonna be doing a lot of, you know, physical activity in a bit, and I don't want to overfill myself. I might throw up in the middle of combat. I get punched a lot, you know.
Wow.
Well,
so you might want a snack for later. You know, Kimchi's always giving a snack, so I can put this in some foil.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, just foil it up. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And I'm gonna take it back to the kitchen and like wrap it up in foil.
I promise you, I'm going to use this as a weapon. I just want to tell you that.
It's that solid. As you walk away and sort of start to wrap it up, you can see the hog-tied raptor off to one side, just like looking at you with like a very yellow eye, and the very, very smoky meat that's still in the pan. It's just.
I'm gonna say, you wanna give it a shot too? No, you seem like you might be a little nice. And I'm gonna like throw a piece of the meat on the ground, like near, but not like, I don't want to get too close yet. Yeah. You like it? It's delicious. Okay, well, you more? Yeah, that sounds great. I'm gonna like throw out 2 more pieces. See, we have another like great reviewer, you know, 5 stars on Yelp over here.
Is Yelp a thing yet?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like
Made
throw
by
the rest
RX.
of the meat.
So Lance leans forward in his chair and just, that was lovely.
Yeah.
But what is our plan? What is our plan of attack? What is our plan of approach? What is the plan?
I mean, Lottie, do you have an idea, Captain?
Be fair, it's your family that's at risk right now. I don't think I should be in control of anything that has in regards to their lives.
Yeah, that's fair. Game plan. I guess we visit my ex-wife and daughter. I can go in as I can just walk in. Sam visiting my daughter. Which, to be honest, I haven't seen her in a while.
But if the butler's watching, he's going to notice you right off the bat.
Can we try and sneak in at night?
I think he wouldn't be suspicious immediately from seeing me. I don't think I've dealt with the butler enough for both of us to know that it takes more than an explosion to deal with me. And he thinks that I'm just gonna let this case go to keep my family safe. So me visiting them makes sense. But all
what
of
if
you
we
could be
have
looking from the outside?
Yeah, you go in, and what if we have a way for us to have like a safety point set up so that you can go in and lead them to us, and we can get them out, and that way we know that they're safe regardless of what's going to go on after that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Mr. Yu, before we get there, and RX is gonna pull out her phone. What's the address? And
yeah, I'll take the phone and like plug in the address. I don't know American addresses. I'm just gonna, so I just plug it in.
Yeah. So basically what I want to do is with the physical address of the home, I want to like do some back channel searching and whatnot, get the IP address, get into the Wi-Fi network for the house, and then see if I can see like any other devices that are connected to the Wi-Fi at the house.
Okay, so I'll say make a computers check for me, please.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no, that I got a 1.
No, you didn't get a 1. You wrote rolling 1, and
oh my gosh,
so just
that's why I was like, wait,
Yeah,
hold on
you're
a second.
You did it again.
I really hit roll.
I mean, no, you're not meant to. There's no space between the 1d20. It should be 1d20, no space. You put a space between it. That's
what I
fine.
was doing.
Oh,
Okay,
nat
well,
20.
nat
Nat
20
20.
that time.
Nat 20.
I guess when I type it in right, it works.
You hook up to the network, and going through your phone, you get a sense that pretty much everything nearby is entirely residential. There are a number of different adjacent buildings that have their own Wi-Fi's, and as you focus in on Carmelita and Ellie's house, you notice nothing out of the ordinary. It appears to just be a normal residential area. You do, however, see that in the house next door and the house across the street, that there is unusual activity, encrypted communications arrays. There isn't much beyond this. It is very much like a black hole of activity, but that in itself is unusual. But you do see that there have been encrypted calls from both of these properties, and it is very much tech that is off the black market.
Perfect. Now that I know these two house locations, I can figure out the addresses based off of the address that I know. And so I would like to, I'm going to like hack into the electric company that controls like the power for like the two houses,
Mhm.
and say, yeah, Mr. Yu, I think I got a back door into their electrical system now. So I don't think I can get through the encryption from this far away, but I think I might be able to give you some darkness whenever you need it.
That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Actually, again, like the last thing I want, Carmelita knows what I do, but Eleanor doesn't, and I think shouldn't, at least for a while longer. So if we are gonna, I suppose, rush her to a safe point, I would rather if we had some kind of excuse to tell her. So I was thinking,
Holds up a puppy.
honestly, related to that, it's gonna be her birthday in a month. I could say that I'm taking her to a fair as an early birthday gift. I missed the last one, so I guess it'll seem like I'm going big this time around to make up for it. And maybe from there we can, one, keep an eye on her, but two, after, I guess, shut her off with Carmelita somewhere safe.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
So we have electricals covered. We have a cover story also. What about Kimchi, Lottie, and myself?
Yes. Do we think we can borrow the mole again?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have it.
Okay. Maybe you can keep watch. Not too far off, just in case there are any weird movements.
Well, I mean, I'll be in the van because that's where I do my thing.
Would it be possible for us to find the location of the butler?
I think it's one of these two houses.
Right. So RX, would you be able to hook up to any of the devices there to determine where
I'd
he
have to
could
get-
be?
Okay, I'd have to get me and the mole closer to be able to try and hack the encryption on the network.
Because in me, Lottie, and Lance, we can sneak up.
Yeah.
I could do that. So when are we approaching?
What's the time right now? It's like
It's
dinner time, right?
yeah. The sun is setting at this point, so it is late in the day.
I mean, as much as I want to go as soon as possible, I don't think a fairground visit will make much sense when night is quickly approaching. So maybe early tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, how many rooms does this place have? And Lance kind of looks awkwardly at the table and just taps it.
So I've got 2 guest bedrooms.
I
I've
call
got
one.
my room. And look at this couch. Isn't it huge? So many people could fit on this couch.
I can take the couch.
Yeah, so I think that if you take the couch, Lance, that means that Mr. Yu is with Kimchi?
Wait,
Is that how that adds up?
Uh,
I feel like that adds up that way. If I carry the 1 and then divide by 2.
No,
Well, there's another guest one.
Yeah,
So
I
you
think.
can take that. I'll party with
yeah.
Kimchi.
yeah.
Ladies'
Sure,
night.
yeah.
Sure.
We could do that.
Or maybe I should have the guest room then, and Mr. Yu, if you want to take the couch, or I
I don't mind. Yeah, I'll take the couch.
I mean, Kimchi's host, so I obviously you probably don't want to show any preferential treatment.
Lance, you can take the couch.
Can Lottie pick up what he's throwing down?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Okay, she's gonna look at him just like.
Well, yeah. Couch. Yeah, couch is. Yeah, I'll take. I can watch the front door. That way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah.
Yeah, good night. See everyone in the morning.
Kimchi
Wow.
does this thing where she whistles and all the dogs line up. She pets each one of them, gives them a big smoochie, just goes down the line, and then goes
This
to bed.
takes a while. It's a long
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah.
I think that we're all kind of awkwardly watching too. Like, should we
Yeah, because I'm like,
start
I haven't
getting
been to
ready
the
for
guest
bed?
room, so I don't know what direction it is. I'm just waiting for it to be like,
Oh yeah, RX is just going there. I already have the schematics for the house, like on my phone.
okay, I'll just follow. I'll follow. Okay. Bye.
Linens are in this closet, right, Kimchi?
Yeah, they are.
Thanks. I'm just gonna grab, another blanket. I get chilly.
That one has like a bunch of poodles on it.
Cute.
They're all at the beach.
Cute.
I love it. Yeah, I guess
Lottie's gonna go sleep with Kimchi. Snuggle up.
Oh, Kimchi is Big Spoon.
Hell yeah. Lottie very willingly rolls over.
Very snuggly.
Good night, baby. Like patting your hand that's on her
Sweet
shoulder.
dreams. Just gives you a little smoochie on the forehead.
She just nuzzles into the pillow and drifts up and under.
Meanwhile, Mr. U's like, I would have been nice to be the little spoon as well. But,
Mr.
You hear
You,
through the walls.
your feet are dangling over the
Yeah.
end of the bed. It is, you are very tall. And so unless there's anything anyone wants to do before going to bed, you all rest up. And come morning, the sun rises, casting long, long orangey beams over the helicopter out back and through each of your windows, as you each stir and ready yourself for the day to come and the battle with the butler. And that is where we're going to take our break, and we'll be back very, very soon for our grand finale.
Oh boy, stay tuned. See you later, everyone. Oh my gosh. And we're back, and I'm just going to pass it straight on to Ed. Ed, take it away.
Okay, so you have all woken. Now, for expediency's sake, we are in a wide, open suburban street. Perfectly square green lawns surrounded by white picket fences, each of which house two-story houses as far as the eye can see. There are clean, shining cars lining the streets and bright green trees softly swaying in the breeze as kids run, play, skip, ride bikes along the pavements. And everything is calm and everything is peaceful, interrupted only now and then by the sound of sprinklers going off in the mid-afternoon sun. The rest of you, where are you positioning yourselves? How have you arrived? And what are you doing? I will start with, because Mr. U, I think you're taking more direct approach.
Yeah.
Kimchi, what are you doing?
I think Kimchi would have suggested that we take at least one civilian car, just so we have a variety of ways to escape, just in case things go terribly, especially since there's civilians in the line of fire here. So Kimchi's driving her minivan and has parked down the street.
Is there a mural on the side of the minivan?
Yes. It advertises a doggy daycare and pet grooming operation.
Amazing. So this inconspicuous vehicle pulls up alongside one of the pavements. Are you alone in the minivan, or is anyone joining Kimchi inside?
Figured it'd be. Would we use this as RX's like van? No? Okay. So I figured that me and Lance would also be with Kimchi since we're infiltrating together.
Okay. In which case, Prescription X, what are you doing?
I parked the mall like a block away.
Underground or overground or mumbling free or?
I mean, if I can find a way to get underground, I would rather prefer to go underground and trying to position myself underneath the street, but like in the middle of like the road, so that I can be close enough to get decent signal from both houses across the street.
Okay, so I will say make a I would say survival, but we haven't used streetwise, and you're doing something related to a street. So a streetwise check for me. Let's get as many of these in as possible.
Okay,
actually, no, I tell a lie. Can you make a driving piloting check for me to see if you can navigate your way there?
Oh, okay. That's dexterity. 18.
18. You are fairly confident, and as you sort of slowly drill the mole underneath this suburban street, chunks of earth and concrete are sort of giving way to this pneumatic drill on the front until eventually it falls down into what looks to be a fairly large sewage tunnel that you drive along. And as you drive it, following the curve of the street, your phone blinks to life as you see 3 distinct dots on the display that just blink, blink, blink. You are directly in the middle of the 3 houses, Carmelitas and the 2 mystery houses across the street and directly next to it.
Okay. While I'm in this location, I would like to use one of my hacker plans and use I'm in and basically use this to attack one or both of these networks, so I can get in and see what they see and possibly download files and generally cause them a bad day.
Okay, so do I need to make a save against that, or?
It's something that I can do during combat. Out of combat. This gives me access to the computer systems automatically. Then I can run malicious software. At 5th level, anyone trying to detect or kick me out of the system has disadvantage on their intelligence checks.
Okay.
Intelligence computer check.
Cool. So I'm just gonna roll a thing real quick.
Okay.
Okay. That's one side. So you go to town on your laptop, just as you know, windows are coming up and you're seeing floor plans, you're seeing, and they're all very, very similar. Pretty much all of the houses in this neighborhood are almost identical to one another. Lots of very kind of like open plan with very wide open doorways going from room to room to room. These are very airy houses, and you can see that each of them have kitchens outfitted with islands which are adjoined to living spaces which go through to an entrance hall, and there's a dining room and stairs leading up to there's shared bathrooms, but there's also a number of bedrooms, usually around 3 in each one. And in the house belonging to Carmelita, you can see a number of appliances on. There are fridges, there are toasters, all this kind of stuff, and a number of lights on as well. And what looks to be a TV that is currently on as well, from what you can tell. The other 2 houses, there doesn't appear to be a lot coming from them. It appears that most of the lights are off. Any appliances that are on are minimal. Fridges, that's pretty much it. Oven, but nothing else from what you can really tell. Certainly not at the moment. But as you are doing that, and Mr. Yu, how are you approaching?
Doing my best to come under pretense of just trying to visit my family. I'm coming in just on my own car. I looked it up while all of you were talking. 80s cars. Ben's Mercedes W126 is like just a. I'm not a car person, but it looks cool, so I'm taking it.
Neither am I. It's a very cool car though. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just see like because this is kind of the car you'd imagine like a businessman walking out of, like a very prim businessman. You see Mr. Yu in like, again, his classic like overalls. He's got like probably like a like denim blue overalls and a red shirt underneath, combat boots, in like a very professional looking car, and kind of like hunched over a little bit because he's pretty big, so he's probably not fitting very well in it. But he pulls up in that, and climbs out.
Cool. So can I ask you to try and maintain the illusion if you can either make a performance or a deception check, whichever you would rather.
Okay. Performance or deception? Okay. Both are the same. So okay. That's okay. 14.
Okay.
I want to go performance for that. It doesn't make difference. They're both the same, but performance 14.
So as you step out and Prescription X on your computer, you see the blip that is Mr. Yu stepping out of the vehicle and slowly moving towards Carmelita's house. Kimchi, from the window of your minivan, you see your friend step out of the car and begin to walk towards this very beautiful two-story home with cream walls and a dark brown tiled roof. And a couple of trees are on the lawn outside, and you can see a small swing hanging from one of these, swaying in the gentle summer breeze. And a white fenced porch stands outside, leading to a brown front door that has a circular window in its face. But as you look, and Lottie, as you sit in the back with Lance opposite you, Lance looks over at you and your sword, and so getting close if we need to.
What?
I mean, I assume you're not going to be much use long range.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else, sweetie. Yeah, no, definitely. I'll get in real close.
He looks a little confused and sort of cocks his head and then kind of glances at Kimchi and back at you and kind of, he's not entirely sure kind of what's going on, but then he just sort of, so, you been with your agency long?
Yeah, been with them, I think a little over a decade at this point now. That's how I've made some of my best friends.
Wow.
Surprised I never heard about you. Just means you weren't as important as you thought.
Or it means we did our job exceptionally well.
I like mine better.
I'm sure you do. How are we looking, Kimchi?
Pretty good. It looks like Mr. Yu's making the approach.
Do we have a signal, or do we just all guns blazing?
I'm sure RX would contact us.
Yeah, and you see Kimchi kind of like blah blah blah. Our radio. RX, are you there? Over.
Yeah, you're coming in crystal clear, Kimchi. What's up?
Ready?
I mean, the idea is for Mr. Yu to get the wife and kid out. So I don't think we want to go in guns blazing right now. We want to wait until they're free of the house.
Right. Yes. Kimchi puts the radio down. We want to wait until they're clear.
Would it be a good idea for at least one of us to get out and scout the area of this other building that we're suspecting Butler's in?
I don't think that would hurt. There is a number of caps and aprons in the back if to walk around.
I'm not gonna lie, Kimchi. I have a feeling that if I put any other gear on, I'm not gonna be that quiet.
Okay.
Well, tell you what, there are two properties. If you like, I can stay watch in the van if the two of you want to scout ahead.
Right? I'll take the one on the left, you take the one on the right.
Sounds good.
All right. Best of luck, and as you're climbing over the back seat, he just looks at you, Kimchi. I'll be honest, it was to avoid wearing the uniform. And he winks at you and just goes and sits in the front of the van.
Kimchi looks at the uniforms hanging. I worked really hard on those. As she climbs out, and she says, Lottie, before you go, reaches into one of her pouches. Zip. There's a granola bar in case you need it.
Oh, thank you. To be fair, after what happened yesterday, I might need it, so I will keep this. And as she's putting it in her pocket, like tapping or patting the pocket, safe and sound.
Oh, and take this. And hands you a tampon, too.
Thank you also.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
First sign of trouble, just radio over. We'll rush to your location.
Got it. I'm assuming we all have radios.
Yeah.
That can contact RX at least. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so Kimchi's taking right and Lottie's taking left, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, can you both make stealth checks for me, please?
That is going to be a 15.
Mine is also 15.
Okay, so as you step out of the van in unison, the back doors opening before closing on the image of a very, very happy looking cartoon puppy in the middle of a bubble bath. You just sort of nod at one another and head off in different directions. And Mr. Yu, as you're walking towards your house, you turn and you see your friends just moving off in separate directions towards the houses that Prescription X pointed out before arriving. And you look over towards the van and you see Lance in the front seat just nod in your direction. Kimchi and Lottie, can you both make investigation checks for me?
Ooh, that's not 20. 21.
Okay.
Mine is a 15 again.
15. Okay, so we'll start with you, Lottie. So as you approach the house across the street from Carmelita's, you sort of skirt around the edges of the white picket fence. And as you do so, you sort of peek in through the windows as best you can. There are no lights on inside, which is strange considering the time of day. In fact, there is not a lot of light inside at all. But as you look, you see movement. And the closer you look, you realize that in the downstairs area, at least, there are two individuals. They are both wearing tactical gear. And you see that propped up against the windows that look towards Carmelita's house, there are two long-range sniper rifles just leaning up against the wall. Kimchi, as you head towards your residence, you, similarly to Lottie...
Oh, Lottie. Wait, I thought it was the other way. You did Kimchi first.
Did I?
Yeah, because you got an
I think you said Kimchi, but you're gonna do Lottie first.
Oh,
and give...
okay. So sorry. So that's what you see, Lottie. Sorry. So that's what you see at your house. Kimchi, what you see as you approach your house, and you go round the outside, and similar to Lottie, you peek inside, you try and get a sense of anything. There is no one inside, and you look and you crane your neck up towards the top floor as well. And you see that inside the living room, there are a number of laptops set up, but you see no signs of life. And as you make your way round the outside of the building, you turn to look at Carmelita's. And as you see Mr. Yu approach the door, you look in through the living room window and you see two individuals. You see a very young girl currently watching television and looking very, very happy and bouncing up and down occasionally as bright lights reflect across her face. And you see Carmelita just standing in the kitchen. And then she turns towards what you can only assume is a knock on the door. But as she moves towards the door, you see a bathroom door open off to one side as a third individual steps out. Mr. Yu, as you approach the door and it opens and you see the familiar sight of Carmelita. She is wearing dungarees and she's currently wiping flour on them. And Victor, it is good to see you. How are you?
You muted?
Oh.
Yep, I was muted. I'm good. Yeah, I got off work. At least I thought I might as well come visit Eleanor.
Oh, excellent. Well, I am afraid we are hosting at the moment, but please come in. I am in the middle of making cookies.
Yeah, of course. Who's visiting? As I like walk in and close the door behind me.
And Kimchi, you see all of this, albeit silently, as the figure coming out of the bathroom slowly makes his way past the kitchen island and reaches down and picks up a cookie and just bites into it as he makes his way through. And as Mr. Yu, you come into the living room, you see Ellie on the sofa just turn around and, Daddy! And she jumps up and runs towards you and, oh, I haven't seen you in so long!
I like pick her up and like just kind of hold her. And it's been a while, I'm very sorry. Have you been a good girl for Mom?
I have been very good, yes, very good. And Carmelita just, well, on occasion, but on best behavior, we have our new neighbor come round. What did you say your name was? And coming round the corner, you see an unassuming individual with pale skin and no hair, wearing very simple grey suit and tie. Fairly gaunt features and dark, stormy grey eyes as he just licks the remains of a cookie off his fingers. My name is John Doe. I know. And Carmelita looks, yes, this is John, and this is Ellie's father, Victor.
I set Ellie down, like pat her head, and turn to John Doe and say, "It's a pleasure to meet you, John."
Oh, the pleasure is all mine, Victor. As this is happening, the rest of you, what are you doing?
Kimchi radios over and says, oh, I think Mr. Yu's ex-wife might have a boyfriend. And I think he's over. Yeah, just having some cookies right now.
A boyfriend? Or, I mean, maybe Kimchi? It's the butler dude.
Oh, do we have confirmation on what the butler looks like?
I know I've seen the butler before, but I
think any of us
don't know if they're. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So possibly the butler, possibly the new boyfriend. But this house only has 2 laptops in it. I don't see anybody around here.
You don't see anyone? Interesting. And I'm going to I already have access into their systems. So I'm gonna look and see if there has been like any recent activity on these 2 laptops. Like, have they been accessing websites or applications?
So, in my role, the one in the house that Kimchi is currently stood outside, you can gain no access to that one. It has encryption upon encryption upon encryption. It is tech the likes of which you have not seen before. This is heavy grade, beyond military. The other house, however, that Lottie is stood outside of, you are able to access. And you are able to gain access to a number of different messages and emails and communication. The 2 individuals in this building are assassins. They are trained assassins, and they have 1 order and 1 order only. If anything goes south, drop the mother drop the child. And if anyone arrives, drop them too.
Okay. I am going to radio over to the group and let them know. I don't really know exactly how to say this, but I'm blind in one of these houses. I can't see anything. Like they've got like this like stupid, crazy out of space encryption going on, and I can't get in there. So I'm kind of blind on that one. But in the other one, I see that there are 2 assassins, and it looks like they have direct orders to drop anyone that gets in the way. So
Lottie's gonna chime in and be like, I was just about to tell y'all that there's 2 assassins in this one. So, yeah, if you trust me to sneak in there, I'll do my best. But I'm pretty sure that's probably the butler.
yeah, that feels like the butler in there. Maybe you and Kimchi should go into this one and take those assassins. I can kill the power in the room and give you all element of surprise.
It actually is already really dark, but if you want to make sure that they can't turn it on, that'd be great as well.
Gotcha.
So Kimchi, I'll wait for you to come around.
All right, be right there.
Do we know the layout of this home because of RX?
I would say so, yes. Yeah. So you know that where the kitchen is, sort of towards the back of the house, there is a back door, and next to which there are a number of sort of those classic metal bins that are just around the back. So you would know that you could probably enter through there. There are also a number of ground level windows as well. There's also a basement as well, which you can access again towards the back. And there are stairs which descend out of the lawn and down into a small little red door.
While waiting for Kimchi, can I check to see what is unlocked and what is locked?
Sure.
Can I find an actual access point?
Make an investigation check for me.
17.
So looking, you can see that all of the doors are locked.
Mm-hmm.
And
But there's no windows.
There are windows. They're all sort of latch windows, and they are latched from the inside. So again, you would need to do some maneuvering to open them as well. It's basically, for as much as a suburban white picket fence house can be, it is locked down.
With how thin my sword is, can I try to lockpick?
100% you can, yes. So if you can...
It's like from a distance. She's just like back here.
Repulsed! If you can make sleight of hand or... sleight of hand, I feel makes the most sense.
16.
16. Which door are you?
I'm assuming they're like inside windows. Is there like an upstairs?
There is, yeah. There are upstairs windows.
Are they
as well.
upstairs, like the assassins, or where is their exact location?
So they're currently in the living room. So they are downstairs currently.
Okay, so I'd probably go from the back door then.
Okay. So steadying yourself in a fencer's stance outside the door, you sort of like have to squint a little and open just with one eye to make sure your depth perception doesn't throw you off as you just slowly just like push the tip of your sword into the lock, and then with a quick you just hear a just as Kimchi comes round the side.
I'm pulling my sword back. Well, we showed up just in time. I got this one unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
But we need a plan before we go in. We can't just barge in. Because first and foremost, they're assassins. They're trained in listening. So if anything, they may have already heard that I just unlocked this door. So can I ask you if you have any idea on how to distract them? Like from a different angle. You know, like what if you like ding dong ditched on the front door?
I could do that. I did leave my stun gun with RX, so I don't have that. Yeah. I've got an idea. I'll distract them while you break in. How's that sound?
Can you tell me how? I want to make sure you're safe.
All right. I'm gonna call Lancelot up to bring the truck, and people are going to try to do some doorbell service.
Kimchi, I could kiss you right now. That is brilliant.
Oh, Kimchi just starts blushing. Thanks.
Okay, well, you go do, and I'll wait till I hear some noise before I open this door.
Right. Okay.
So,
Good luck.
Kimchi, as you head over
So
to the
smart.
minivan, Mr. You, what are you doing as you stand face to face with the butler, stood on the other side of the living room, as Carmelita just continues to wipe down flour on her dungarees?
Oh, well, this is. How long do you think? I'm sorry, John. I came to you as a bit of a surprise for little Ellie here, and like pat Ellie's head. I don't know if you know, but it's gonna be her birthday in a month, and
She was
I wanted
telling
to.
me. Yes.
Yeah, you're telling her. Okay. Well, I actually got tickets to the fair. It's not gonna be around for much longer, so I thought I might as well take Ellie and Carmelita, of course, if you're willing. But I only have 3 tickets.
Oh, well, I understand you wouldn't want a stranger tagging along. I was wondering, perhaps, Victor, if it's all right with you, Carmelita. You mentioned that your ex-husband had some mechanical expertise. I've been having trouble with my boiler. I was wondering if I might pick Victor's brains. And Carmelita, only if you have nothing else to do, Victor?
Yeah, sure. The fair's gonna be open for at least another 12 hours, so we can go whenever you like, Ellie.
Okay. But do I need to put on my my dinosaur shoes or my teddy bear shoes?
Go with dinosaur. I have a story to tell you afterwards, but go with
Okay.
dinosaur.
And with that, she just up the stairs. And Carmelita, well, I will finish in the kitchen. Would either of you like a drink at all? And the butler, a lemonade would be lovely. Thank you.
I'll have a lemonade too. Thank you, Carmelita.
And with that, Carmelita nods and heads into the kitchen. And the butler just turns to you and, it's good to finally meet in person, Victor.
Yes, it is. Is that a boiler?
Well, no, I don't plan on staying very long. When Air Force John didn't reach out to me yesterday, I assumed that you and your friends probably weren't as dead as I hoped. So I thought I would come and wait for the inevitable arrival of Mr. You. And here Mr. You are.
Well, after the wonderful conversation we had, I suppose it was hard for me to not want to see the face of my little girl.
And what a face it is. She is so very cute. So, what are we doing here? I assume your friends are outside?
No.
Make
You
a
said
deception
that-
check for me.
Okay.
Our lives are in your hands.
Wait, I want to see how luck works. Okay, so reroll, you take the final roll, like the second roll. I'm gonna stick with this one. I rolled well. I just want to see if I can fish for a nat 20, but from the way they word lucky, you can't. That's a 21.
He just looks at you and nods.
I mean, like you said, if I continued on my path, you would endanger them. So,
So I assume Air Force John didn't.
Unfortunately, you didn't make it. You know, the Empire State Building collapsing.
That is
Nice
a
touch.
shame. Still, you know of my involvement. And you know that I certainly had people within the agency, which means you are a loose end I have to tie off now, Victor. I really did hope you would leave well enough alone.
I have a question to ask you. John, whatever name you're going with right now. If you do tie this loose end, what happens to Carmelita and Eleanor?
I can guarantee their safety. Are your friends alive?
Barely.
But they know all about this as well. And me?
No, actually.
Make
If I
another
told them about
deception
you-
check for me, please.
I'm using luck. Nat 20, so 22. Like I said, I know them well enough to know, even in their state right now, if I let them know that you were involved in endangering my family, there'll be very little I can do to stop them from trying to hunt you down.
So, the only loose end left, other than yourself, is Lancelot. What about him? Did he make it?
It took everything I could to save my team. I couldn't do anything to save him.
One more deception check for me, please.
I only have one luck point left. Okay. Okay. It's a 19.
Oh, Victor, I really hoped we were becoming friends. Honesty is very important between friends, wouldn't you say?
Fine. Yes. Lancelot is still alive. And I'll admit, also doing it considerably better than the rest of my team.
So you'll tell me where I can find him. Then I can ensure your family's safety. I cannot do the same for you, Victor. But in death, you'll ensure the long life of your very, very beautiful girl. This has all become very complicated.
Yeah. I would like to I like pull up my phone and I just hold like I'm not calling anyone. Just scanned the address. We had everyone at a safe house.
Give it to me then. And while this is happening, Kimchi, what are you doing?
Kimchi has run back to the van and said, all right, look, you're gonna have to put on the uniform. The plan has changed.
I love changing plans. And he just starts putting on the uniform and just tell me what I need to do and tell me how long it is until I can take this off.
All right, I'm gonna need you to drive up to the front of that house and try to sell my side business and draw their attention while we break in through the back.
Do I get to at least enjoy a little bit of the action, or am I purely just selling dog care?
Well, there are 2 assassins. Guess remain flexible.
I mean, you know I can do that. And with that, he just like drives a little closer to the house and sort of getting out, just starts to walk up the path towards the front door.
Yeah, Kimchi's very thankful. She has to walk it off as she makes her way back towards Lottie. Okay, they'll be in place.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're a little flustered.
Yeah. That's been happening a lot these last few days. Yeah.
It would seem so. So is Lancelot good with the plan?
Yeah. He's always been a good player.
All right, good. Then I guess we'll just wait.
So, Prescription X, what are you doing?
I can't hear any of the other conversations because they're not talking to me directly.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that Kimchi and Lottie would have told me like their plan, like just to update me on what they're doing now. So as I'm watching the 2 dots like in the house, when there's a doorbell, I'd like to like remain I don't know. This is the night evening. I'd like to basically try to stop any plans that they have of turning back on like the lights.
Okay, sure thing. So as Lancelot walks over towards the door, there is a ding ding, and you see one of the dots inside Prescription X just sort of turn a little bit and then turn towards the other and then start making its way over towards the front door. And Lottie and Kimchi, just very, very faintly across the other side of the house, you just hear, "Hello, I was just here to, do you have dogs?
Right, that's our cue.
We have lots of
Lottie's gonna slowly push in the door.
And so if you can make a stealth check for me, please, Lottie and Kimchi.
16.
11.
Okay. So you creep forward, and while this is happening, Prescription X, you see that the other dot is making their way over towards what looks like a hallway light switch. Certainly that's where the light source is controlled from.
As they make it over to the light switch, I mean, I can't really time it out, but I'm going to cut the power then.
Okay. So as Kimchi and Lottie, you make your way forwards, creeping through the kitchen and past the little island and forward. You see a vast living space in front of you. There are sofas, there's a small little TV unit, and you can see that one of the individuals in tactical gear is over by the front door and talking with Lancelot, who, yes, we do bubble bath, and the individual at the door is, that a British accent? You come over? Yes, no, I came over here to work. I just love dogs. And the other individual is over by the light switch and just flicking it a little bit and looking a bit confused. And as he turns, Lottie, you're able to duck behind the kitchen island just in time. Kimchi, you are not so fast as the individual in tactical gear looks over in your direction and we have company.
He pulls away from the light switch, can I throw my dagger to try to like pierce through his hand?
Yeah, I'd say make a sneak attack roll so you can attack an advantage with this.
Yeah.
And while this is happening in the adjacent building, Mr. Yu, what are you doing as the butler looks on?
How are we gonna do this? I'd rather it not be around Carmelita or Eleanor.
I would rather that as well, but we don't really have the luxury of choice, do we, Victor? It's a shame all of this was so very well planned out. You have somewhat thrown it all into disarray, you and your merry band.
That's what we're sort of known for.
I suppose so.
Before we do this, one last thing. It's been a very long time since I've had one of Carmelita's cookies.
They are delicious.
I know. And I want to walk past the butler and head to the kitchen. Hey, Carmelita, is any of these ready? Can I just grab one?
Yes, no, you can. Here's a tray straight out of the oven. And she pushes across a tray of still steaming cookies.
When she pushes it across, first of all, is how close is the butler right now? Is
I'd
he
say
like
you're
watching
around
me?
sort of 15 feet. He is watching you, absolutely, but you're around 15 feet away.
Okay, when she pushes it towards me, I want to like place my hand on her hand, like on the side of the tray. Let's go. And just whisper, I need you to run with Ellie.
Can you make a sleight of hand check to see?
Okay. Okay. 5 hand. That's a 21 again.
21. Jeez,
Yeah.
Mr. You.
I'm rolling really well. I have a +2, so I'm just rolling really well on a die.
Carmelita just looks down at your hand and then up at you. Anyway, enjoy the cookies. Ellie, just one, and she starts to make her way out. And as this is happening, Lottie, what did you roll?
What did I roll? Oh, 25.
25. Yeah, that hits. So roll for damage, and yeah.
Ooh, 6.
6. Lovely. I'm also gonna change the music to some action music. Lovely. So 6, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, so as you come up from behind the kitchen island, you throw a weapon forward, and it impales the hand just above the light switch, and you just hear, ah! And Kimchi, from where you are, you see the individual in the front door just turn around and look in his friend's direction. And as he starts to reach down towards his holster, you can see that he's about to unbuckle the pistol that is by his side. Are you doing anything at all from where you are?
Yeah, Kimchi brings up her radio. RX. Uh-oh. We got company.
So as you do that, Lance is also going to attack from behind. So that's a sneak attack. So that hits, and that will be a lot of damage. Jesus Christ. Okay. Right. RX, what are you doing? As Lancelot just pistol whips the other assassin from behind, and the assassin just stumbles forward. What are you doing?
I am going to use the hacker plan We Interrupt. And what I want to do, since I have access to like basically control these two houses, I want to, over anything that has a speaker, like blare a a national emergency alarm. What I'm trying to do is distract from like the sound of gunfire that's about to be happening next door.
Sure thing, not a problem. So from a number of speakers nearby, you just start to hear quite loud music emanating just around the neighborhood, and there is no gunfire yet, but you get the impression that it is going to be drowned out for a number of residents in the area. I am going to say Lottie, Kimchi, and Prescription X, if you can roll initiative for me real quick. And I'll do the same for the assassins. Oh dear. Okay.
I rolled an 8.
An 8, okay.
18.
18. Lovely. And Prescription X?
Oh, wait. I was not paying attention. What was I rolling?
Initiative.
Initiative.
Oh, gotcha. D20. Oh my gosh. Initiative is +1. 17.
17. Lovely. Okay, so let me just do in order. Okay, so we've got Lottie, then we've got Lancelot, then we've got Prescription X, then we've got Kimchi, and then we have the assassins, because they rolled super poorly. But before we get into that, and as battle in the adjacent house starts to take shape, in Carmelita's house, as Carmelita heads off, leaving yourself and the butler alone, Mr. Yu, what are you doing?
I mean, I meant it about the cookie. I take one cookie. I take one of the cookies and just bite into it, and turn to the butler and say, "Okay, I guess I'm ready."
So why don't you hand over the address for your friend Lancelot, and then we can go from there.
Yeah. I would like to give. Because I assume the agency has some kind of safe house, like they have safe houses for when they need to like smuggle people away and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give them like a legitimate like location of a safe house.
Okay. So you hand it over and he looks at it and Ryan told me about this place. So they're magnanimous enough to accept a member of the Night House under their protection then?
I mean, more there for questioning, but also fully aware that if we let them free, well, I gesture to the butler, someone will come after them and try to kill them, so we're keeping them safe until we can get some more answers. That was the plan, anyway.
It's a shame. This was all so meticulously planned out. Dinosaurs,
Yeah.
selling them on the black market, using the Night House, hating the US government, doing anything that I would ask them to, and wiping them off the board. None of you had to be involved. You were meant to stay in the lobby.
Yeah. Kind of wish we did. But
Me too. Because I'm afraid I was lying about your daughter and your wife. And he just brings his hand up and you can go now. And Kimchi and Lottie, you hear from the radios of these assassins just the words, "You can go now." And we are now in initiative. So Lottie, what would you like to do?
Where am I in proximity to these two people?
So you're around 20 feet away from the assassin that you threw the weapon at. And the other one is around 5 feet behind that one.
Cool. I'm gonna, because I have to, move up to be like pretty much in between them. So either side. And she's gonna first probably did the voice come from both of the radios? Like, do they each have a radio?
Yes, they do, yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't matter. All right, so she's gonna go ahead and re-attack the one that she daggered.
Okay, roll to attack.
Whoa, nat 20, 25.
Oh, okay, so roll for damage.
10.
10. I mean, that's exactly what you needed. So how would you like to dispatch of the assassin?
Beautiful. So she, looking at both of them, she eventually just whips around with her rapier, also fencing weapon, and just like slices through like probably his abdomen as she's turning around. But like her weapon getting a little bit more in depth into his skin, and so then she's just gonna yank it out so that there's probably a lot of blood doing its thing.
It splatters over the upholstery as he just and just falls to the ground. Are you doing anything else on your turn, Lottie?
Yes, because I can attack more.
Mhm.
So then she's gonna whip around in the same movement. Ain't no way! I got another nat 20.
Wow.
Roll for damage.
He is our leader.
That one is an 8.
8. Okay. Again, that's all you needed. So how would you like to dispatch of the
Pretty
second
much
one?
the same thing. So she pulls that one out and she's whipping around again and then yanking it out.
So Kimchi, you watch as just Lottie just turns one and then the other, and you see the second one, arterial spray, goes all over Lance, who is still stood in the door in his doggy uniform, as the two assassins just fall to the ground, dead.
Kimchi
Lottie's gonna
brings
look up at Lance. Whoops.
Kimchi raises the radio and says, "Never mind."
Prescription X, you see the two dots on your screen just blip, blip, and just go out.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I don't even have to try and hack these guys anymore. It's my turn, I'm assuming?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. I am going to use my hacker plan, brick it on the walkie-talkie that the butler has.
Okay.
And so this is a computer device. So I destroy it, dealing 3d6 fire damage to it and anyone holding it, and they are now on fire.
Okay, amazing. So roll damage then, I guess.
Which devices in particular?
It's I'm targeting that device.
Okay, good. I was like, not all of us holding walkie-talkies right now.
No, that specific device. Let's see. 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay.
And he's on fire.
Mr. Yu, you watch as in the kitchen space of Carmelita's home, the butler, having just spoken into his wristwatch, just pauses a moment. Come in. And all
The
is
reception here is really weird.
Yeah, suburban neighborhoods. You may. What have you? And then at this moment, there's a, and he just like his head flies back as sparks emanate off his watch and onto his face, and you can see that his skin is beginning to bubble and char as he just staggers back a little bit and leans against the kitchen counter. I'm going to need you, Mr. Yu, to roll initiative, and the butler is going to do the same. God damn, what a bad roll. Okay.
What an incredible roll. I rolled a nat 20, so that's a 22 initiative.
Okay. So, Kimchi, it is your go as you see these two assassins fall to the ground. For expediency's sake, I will allow you to move more than your usual movement. Time's a little bit loose at the moment. Mm-hmm. So if you want to like run over to the other house, you absolutely can do that if that's the thing you would like to do.
Yeah. Kimchi immediately unholsters her gun. She cocks it and she begins running through the front door. And as she passes Lancelot, she pats him on the side and says, "Good job." Little butt pat, and then books it over to Carmelita's house.
Cool. So through the window, you see the moment of explosion as the butler just careens back against the kitchen island, and you can see that the right side of his face is just on fire, and you see that he is currently trying to like put it out. You can see through the window. You aren't quite to the front door yet, but what would you like to do?
I'm gonna try to shoot for center mass.
Okay.
That's a 10.
That does not hit, unfortunately.
Okay, I have an extra attack. Ooh, that is a dirty 20.
That hits, so roll for damage.
Okay.
So what are you aiming for specifically, sorry?
Center mass. So like not to kill, but to kind of like drop him, making sure like in this moment, Kimchi does not want stray bullets. She wants to aim for accuracy. She doesn't want to accidentally hurt anyone at home.
Cool.
And that's going to be 10 damage.
10 damage. Lovely. That is a lovely, easy math for me. Okay, lovely. So as the first bullet goes stray, and Mr. You immediately just sort of hear this ricochet in the center of the kitchen as in the nearby steel fridge, there is just a sudden hole. And both you and the butler look in the direction of the window and just see Kimchi stood outside as a second round just comes through the window. And the butler just and falls back. And you can see that there is a flak vest underneath his fairly unassuming suit otherwise, as he just staggers back, and you can see that he is struggling for breath against this. Are you doing anything else on your turn, Kimchi?
Nope.
Okay, lovely. So what's he gonna do? He is going to well, first of all, he's gonna shoot at you, Kimchi. So that will be, the first one is an 11, which I assume doesn't hit.
Nope, my AC is 16.
Okay, which means the second one doesn't hit either. So as he staggers back and just shooting wildly, you get the impression that he is not much of a trained marksman, as both of the bullets go flying wide. And then he turns to you, Mr. You, and just reaching into his jacket pocket, just throws out what looks to be a pocket watch. And then as it flies into your chest, it seems to almost magnetize to it. And you just feel this. And it's almost as though tendrils of lightning just come around your body. And you take no damage. But can you make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
Okay. Let me see if I have anything to help me real quick. No, I do not. Okay. A 19.
God damn. Okay, right. So as the lightning comes around your body, you just and you can feel your limbs tensing up and shaking, and you can feel yourself becoming restrained, and then you just reach up and tear it off you as it falls to the ground, and you can see the butler kind of look to the device and then up to you and. Oh, well, this could have been friendly. It is now your turn, Mr. You. What would you like to do?
It's going to take a lot more than that for you to drop me. And I'm just going to go, I want to tackle him. I don't tackle him and charge towards the window, like the living room window towards Kimchi, and dive out with the butler.
Okay, so if you can make an attack roll for me, please.
Okay. Would this count as a grapple by any chance?
Yeah, I'd say so. So is it contested strength?
Yes.
Okay. Strength, funnily enough, not this frail, bold man's forte. Okay.
That's a 17.
That's a 17 also.
Oh, I'm going to use lucky. My last lucky. 18.
18. So as you rush towards him, he almost evades you. And there is a moment where you think that he, surprisingly lithe as he is going to dodge you, but you just grab his collar, and as you do you just throw yourself towards the window as both of you come crashing out onto the lawn and towards the still gently swinging swing set that is on the nearby tree next to you, Kimchi. Is there anything else you're doing on your turn, or are you just keeping him restrained, Mr. Yu?
I am going to headbutt him.
Okay, you can do so at advantage because he is grappled.
Yes. Okay, yeah, perfect. And by the way, I don't know if it's this is always the case for grapple, because I know grapple is a special thing, but I have ability where whenever I grapple someone, they become restrained, which I know is slightly different. So
brilliant, amazing, cool. That's good to know.
But I also count as restrained as well. So if anyone's shooting at me, that's an extra thing. This is that is a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. Roll for damage.
Yeah. I'm gonna make this a haymaker because it's an unarmed strike.
Is this the one that felled a dinosaur?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know that.
Is there anything else I can add to this? I think that's it, because once per time when you hit, yes, so that's 5d6
Jesus Christ.
bludgeoning
Okay.
damage.
Also, Lottie, you're on deck after this.
20 points of bludgeoning damage as I'm holding him and go raise my head up and slam into his forehead, right on the side that just recently got burned.
You do so, and you can hear a very distinct "Ah!" as he just falls to his knees, and you are still sort of keeping him up in this grapple. But as you see this from across the street, Lottie, what are you doing?
So Lottie is busting out the door after Kimchi. Pays Lance no mind. She already said what she wanted to. So she probably shoulder hits him.
Oh, ow.
And at the same time, I feel like she's probably a bit more distant and sees Mr. Yu and the butler coming out of this window and glass is shattering. She's like, oh, all right. Well, that's one way to do it. And so she's going to does she have the distance to be able to run up to close distance?
Oh, I will say yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then she's going to do that. What is your positioning right now, Mr. Yu, with the butler? Standing, sitting?
I think we're
are you in front of him, behind him?
I think it's kind of I'm on one knee. I think we're kind of crouch kind of deal because we're probably wrestling, trying to get out of each other's grasp. So I'd say
okay,
on a knee, knee. Yeah, on a knee.
All right, so you're facing each other?
Yeah.
All right, she's probably, depending on how they're facing, she's gonna come up to his side and just try to unguard and hit the guy.
So you can do so at advantage because he is currently restrained.
Not 20.
Oh my god.
The first one was a 7, so thank you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you broke up. What was that?
20, nat 20.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, okay. Roll for damage. Roll for all of the damage.
Oh boy.
6. And then she's gonna do it again.
So how much damage, sorry?
6.
6, okay.
I need to ask, have you been adding your abilities? I know you definitely have abilities that you can add to damage, right? As a fencer?
Not the same as what I'm doing right now. Yeah,
okay.
It has to do with other stuff. So I actually just rolled a nat 1, but I have this ability to where I can switch it to a nat 20 once per day. So that's another nat 20.
Wow.
Okay, so roll for damage.
That's a 10.
10, okay. 10 to be doubled, or is that the damage doubled?
Oh, to be doubled.
Oh,
Yeah, I've
to
been
be
giving you
doubled.
everything to be doubled.
Okay. Yeah, Butler's not looking good as you just 1 and 2, and you just see him just as in this immaculate suit, there are just small rivulets of blood just slowly trickling down. It is Lance's go. Lance, looking over at all of you, he just kind of brings up a radio and Prescription X, everything's looking good up here. Do you think I should just hang back, wipe the blood off? Over.
Yeah, but before you do, I may or may not have heard something about cookies. If you can bring a couple of those down, I'm feeling peckish.
Yep, no, I can grab you some. I'll see you in a bit. Over. And with that, he just throws the walkie-talkie in the direction of the butler just after saying, just in case you need any electricals, and just throws it in the direction. It is now your go, Prescription X. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna brick that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention this before, and maybe I broke the game a little bit, but hold on, brick it. You can make an intelligence saving throw against my plan DC.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel it was a cool cinematic moment, so we'll allow it. But I'll let's say to make up for it, I'll roll this at advantage for the walkie-talkie. So it fails.
I would have to roll as well, right? Was that for the device itself?
No, I can target it to one device. So last time I can blast it out, or I can target it at one device because I know like the IP address of that device.
But Mr. you will be in the
I'll be in the blast because I'm restraining.
There.
Just about that.
Yeah. Sorry, I just see dots. I don't.
Yeah, no. I honestly think. I also think I think you've again worked with Mr. U, and he said Mr. T, Mr. U, enough to know that he can probably take a few hits. So, yeah.
Pi, if you can roll for damage, please.
Yep. 11.
11. Okay. So, as this walkie-talkie flies through the air and lands on the grass next to you, there is a as this small little explosion just hits both Mr. Yu and the butler, who go careening across the lawn, and little bits of the earth are sort of coming up in flames. Kimchi, it is your go. What would you like to do?
She is going to continue to try to shoot him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. I am going to use my bonus action in your face. So I get to choose one enemy. I'm going to choose the butler. If he tries to attack anyone but me, he gets disadvantage.
Okay, sure thing.
That's going to be a 13.
That misses, unfortunately, but you have another one?
Mm-hmm. That is going to be a 7.
That also misses, unfortunately, as you sort of focus on him and trying to gauge like who he's going to attack next. You just go slightly wide off the mark, and little bits of earth and grass just up off the ground around him.
How far off the mark? Because I'm also right next to this guy.
Doesn't hit you.
Okay.
But he is he's restrained, so he needs to use his action to try and escape. So he does not do that. He's not very strong. So Mr. Yu, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Can I retcon that a little bit? Because I think cinematically it'd just be very interesting when we got like blown up by that thing, that we kind of like end up separating and we're face to face.
On your head be it then. So in which case, can the three who are above ground, can you make dexterity saving throws for me, please?
Oh, that is me.
19.
It had to end eventually.
No.
I got a 4.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, so everyone who rolls 16 and higher.
Yeah, that was me too.
So let me just roll. So that would be.
Oh, just kidding. It's not a 4. It's a 6.
Okay.
That makes it better. Yeah.
Oh.
Not just under 10.
So, Lottie takes 39 points of explosive damage. And Mr. Yu and Kimchi, you take half of that, so that would be 19 points. As just as he rolls away, and half of his suit is on fire and half his face is just bloodied and charred, the butler just looks over and just throws a small incendiary device into the middle of all three of you, and it explodes. And even you, Prescription X, feel this from below ground as this pillar of earth just flies into the air, and all three of you just fly backwards in this sort of like slow motion kind of and earth and grass are falling from the sky above. That is his go. So Mr. Yu, it is now your turn.
Okay, what is the distance between us right now? And
I would say after that blast, around like 15-20 feet.
Okay, perfect. I am going to, as he stands up, he cracks his neck, cracks his back, and honestly, I don't care. He definitely does it the whole. I think was it. I don't know. I'll be honest. All the action here.
Are you gonna say the Henry Cavill like shotgun?
Shotgun arms, and then starts moving towards Mr. I'm moving over to the butler, and that's gonna be me readying my power attack. I'm gonna take a -5 penalty to add +10 to my attack.
Okay.
I am going to reckless attack this, and haymaker smash as I come in to just land a punch in his face.
Okay, so roll to attack.
That's a nat 20. I rolled a nat 1 and then a nat 20.
So that hits, so roll your double damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna use roll 20 for this because this is a lot of dice. I don't have this many d6s.
I guarantee you don't need them, but let's do it for overkill.
Big number is fun.
Yes. I have never rolled, I can't remember how to roll 20. Is it /roll, right?
Yeah, space.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. It's spaced.
Mhm.
Okay then. $42 points of damage. Let's go. Bam,
I mean,
just one.
You might not have any choice in the matter, but are you aiming to kill him? Or
I think there's definitely I think everyone's close by, so everyone can see there's definitely like a bloodlust in Mr. Yu's eyes, and I feel like it was gonna go for like a killing blow, but maybe in the corner of his eye he probably sees like Eleanor looking through the window with Carmelita, kind of scared about what's going on. There's been gunshots, shattered glass, so I think he kind of like in the last second re-aims where the punch is gonna land and just goes for like, I don't know, like probably like the chest to just knock the wind out of him and knock him flying backwards.
there is a distinct sort of shockwave as there is one final and the butler just crumples over and falls on the ground, limp and not lifeless, but certainly very ragdollish as he just collapses. Mr. Yu standing over him, Kimchi to one side, gun trained, and Lottie to one side, sword drawn. And Prescription X, you just chilling in the mole underground.
Yeah, I wanted to take, so I'm glad he's not dead, the butler, because I wanted to enact one last plan. And that plan is, sucks to be you. And as I imagine, like, as I'm eating this delicious cookie, I'm just like, sucks to be you. And like on my keyboard, you see me like press YOLO. And so this unleashes vicious malware. When it's time to unleash the vicious malware, this is going to be it. I enact this plan and it'll attack someone's personal data. So at level 5, I can enact 3 different ways to make this guy's life absolutely miserable. And so I'm going to, 1, put a stop on all of his credit cards. 2, I'm gonna put him on the no flying list and he won't be able to cross any borders. And then 3, I'm gonna scramble all of his passwords.
So as this entire battle has been going on and you've been assisting from there, you've had another laptop off to one side that occasionally sort of like guy in the chair kind of way, you've just been like pushing like your wheelie chair across and like doing a couple of like little sort of taps on that keyboard before coming back. And as the butler is felled above, there is a doot 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 as you turn and you see that this previous sort of black zone around the house next to Carmelita's that you couldn't get into, your program has essentially unlocked, and you suddenly see this almost waterfall of data as your code just descends upon the butler's laptops, and you see them just infiltrate every single digital corner of his passwords, his emails, all of the dark net that he's been accessing. It is spreading like wildfire. It is very satisfying to watch.
It is. I imagine the visual effects are just...
There's like a little clippy off to one side going, is this the malware you're looking for? And the 3 of you up above ground, what are you all doing?
Kimchi scrambles over to Lottie.
About to say, you almost killed me. Woo! I got 5 hit points, but I'm doing okay.
Are you
Lottie-
all right?
Yeah, Lottie, after like seeing everything go on and holding herself together, holding the sword, as soon as she sees that things are relaxed, she goes, oh, and just like falls to the ground. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting too old for this.
Here. And Kimchi reaches into her pouch and she pulls out a little hanky and it's got K embroidered in one of the corners and it looks like a dog is trying to eat the K. She just kind of gently dabbles your face.
That one hurts.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I have to work on my bedside manner.
That's okay, I don't mind it.
As this conversation is happening, you see, or rather hear, the pitter-patter of tiny feet just coming out of the house as Ellie runs forward towards her father and running towards it and just throwing her arms around his legs. Just, Daddy!
Hey, Ellie Belly. This is not how... I was hoping you'd find out. How are you doing? Are you okay? Any scratches?
Carmelita just walks forward with her hands on her hips and, so, the boiler.
Yeah. I like pick up Eleanor. There's a lot to explain, but I like gesture to John. He had it coming.
And these are all of your friends, yes?
Yes, actually. That's Lottie, Kimchi, and I think somewhere beneath us is RX.
Would you like to come in? And we can perhaps talk about who is paying for my lawn.
The government!
Yeah, I think we can scrape up some money from work. I wasn't lying about those tickets, though. If you want to go to the fair afterwards, Ellie.
Ellie just sort of looks and, yeah! And looks at her mum, and then her face kind of immediately falls. And, I don't know. I have to ask Mum. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I'm a little bit scared of Mum, too. Okay, let's walk in. Let's go.
So as you head on in, and Lance sort of hovers outside and sort of walks over to the both of you, Kimchi and Lottie, and good work. I'm going to go, I think. I imagine with the butler here, agency will likely be descending anytime soon, and I would rather not be in their line of sight, so...
Can't stay for a cookie?
Make a persuasion check.
I'm actually really good in that. 21.
And he sort of glances at Kimchi and then back at you. Yes, I suppose one can't hurt.
Good. You deserve it.
Thank you. And he sort of wipes blood off his face and just wipes it on the doggy uniform that he has. But as the fight draws to a close and as the butler is trussed up, and as we come to the end, I will say, let us fast forward and give each of our characters an epilogue. So what is everyone doing over the next month or so, either together or separately? Where do your paths take you? Where do your lives lead you? Let us start with Prescription X. After the Battle of Suburbia.
After the Battle of Suburbia, Prescription X does the debriefing and all that stuff, returns the mole, and raves about the way that the explosions didn't go like last time, and it kind of did kill Lottie. But we won't talk about that during the retelling of the story. We'll just say that it totally saved the day.
This is very much a like sort of a drone shot coming away from the house as everyone walks in, and then like everyone gets a freeze frame with like a sort of like yellow text underneath. So yeah.
Got you. Okay, really quickly. Prescription X spends the next month finding a way to make her malicious code even stronger, and learns the recipe for those cookies, but has to hack it from Carlito.
Cool. I will say make one final computer check for me to see how this malware goes.
Okay. Computer 21.
Man, like governments are crumbling before you, Prescription X. Your name goes not just being whispered in circles so much as shouted from rooftops. You are you become something of a folk hero online, and it is whispered that all around the world, wherever you find computers, wherever you find technology, a little bit of Prescription X's malware can be found hovering just underneath the surface. Mr. Yu, what about yourself?
Oh, I think this one will be specifically a month ahead, and the freeze frame is you see Mr. Yu. I think probably like again, just imagine this very burly black man, but he's probably wearing like in this freeze frame he's wearing like a pink fluffy tutu and like fairy wings and like a pink corset that's definitely too small for him. Like you can see his midriff, and it's not meant to be showing his midriff. Like sat at a little table having a little pretend tea party with Eleanor as they're celebrating their birthday. They've got like a magician, like a little magician in the back, kind of bunch of Eleanor's friends. We've got the raptor. The raptor like kind of I think at this point definitely not domesticated, definitely not, but like it's fully aware that Mr. Yu can choke it out. So it's like, okay, cool, I'll behave, but only because Mr. Yu's around. So like you definitely like a free frame of like Mr. Yu sipping from a plastic teacup, staring daggers at the raptor just to make sure he's playing nice with the kids. Yeah, and I think like he's still taking the odd job, but I think a lot less now, spending more time with Eleanor and just being more of an everyday kind of guy now. Still good friends with Carmelita, but obviously ex-wives are not living together or anything like that, but visits every so often to see Eleanor. And I think he pays very close attention to how Mr. Butler, I keep saying Mr. Butler, the butler is not being treated, but where things are going with him within the agency. Like how I don't want them to be like, oh, we have no evidence that the butler has done anything, let's release them. I'm like, just keep an eye that there's no more moles and people working for Butler on the inside to let spring them out.
Being looked after by top men in the rig. Lottie, how about yourself?
After time spending probably hanging out with Kimchi for a bit, like at her house and playing with all of her dogs and stuff, she eventually retakes up what she was doing before this mission, which is a mission of her own. So she, I assume probably one day while like Kimchi's out, would like write a little note to her and just, well, dear Kimchi, sorry for leaving while you're not home. I need to get back on the road. I appreciate all of your dogs. One of them chewed up my shoes, so I gotta get new ones, but that's okay because I know that they mean a lot to you and you mean a lot to me. ... I'll send you postcards. Signed, Love, Lottie. And she is traveling the world. And she, over time, has been sending different postcards. Like, you've got one from, like, Argentina. There's one from maybe somewhere in the desert. She didn't specifically specify because that's top secret. And all over that are just coming to your door at random times. And that's where Lottie would be left off.
Which brings us to Kimchi.
think the last scene of Kimchi before the cut frame is Kimchi putting the keys of the van into Lancelot's hand, saying, "Take good care of her."
I will. It's not quite as inconspicuous as previous vehicles I've driven, but remind me of you.
My one request is that you don't change the uniform.
All right.
Cool.
For old time's sake.
I'm really glad that we got to spend some time together.
Me too. Till next time.
See you around. And then when it has the cut frame of Kimchi, there's like cute little like cooking together scenes with Lottie in the kitchen over the month. And then as Kimchi's getting these little postcards, she's like hanging them on her fridge and making a little collage of it. And she ends up adopting this very agile greyhound, and she ends up naming her Lottie while Lottie's gone. And Kimchi retires to become a full-time dog mom.
And as we end on one final freeze frame of all four of you walking forwards, sort of a non-diegetic shot, all of you walking towards the camera. Behind you, an explosion goes off as the VHS flickers a little bit. Can you all make Constitution saving throws to see if you get back?
You look back. Oh my god. Okay,
One
hold
last
on.
time for me to eat it.
18.
Oh, I'm good at this. Okay. It's a 24. Oh no.
Why is it always things that I'm not good?
I got 5.
Okay, mine's a 13. So it's better than that.
So as all of you walk forward, and there's just this behind you all as you slowly walk off, Prescription X can't help but just like look around a little and just bring her phone up to just
Yes.
before coming back round and resuming the walk as you walk forward, and we fade to black. And that is where we are going to end our Everyday Heroes campaign.
That was incredible.
That was so good. That was so much fun. So much fun.
God, that was wild. Thank you so much for that, Ed, and thank everyone for watching. That's the finale of a 3-shot of Everyday Heroes, the A stream. Yeah, that was wild. If you want to play a ridiculous, honestly over the top game like that, put exclamation point Kickstarter in chat. You can back the Kickstarter. I think they might have already funded. I'm not entirely sure, just very close to it. But it's not too late to jump on and get yourself a copy when it does. I'm gonna go around the horn for everyone to introduce outro themselves. Tell us where you can find you, what other cool projects you're up to. Because I know all of you have got some very cool stuff. And yeah, let's start off with our incredible, wonderful GM, Ed.
Oh, thank you, Drak. I'm Ed. You can find me on Twitter at Edward_Spence_. I am currently GMing a long-term campaign, which we are back for our second campaign. So we started that 2 weeks ago. We left off on a big cliffhanger with Sam's character in particular, but it's called Cantrip Breakers. It airs every Thursday. It's set in a gothic homebrew setting full of ghouls, ghosts, witches, werewolves, and vampires. And we're very, very proud of that over there. So it'd be great if you could give that a look. And yeah, in terms of other projects, every Monday, you can hear my voice, for which I can only apologize, on the podcast Forgotten Paths, which is an amnesia campaign, which we don't know who our characters are. We don't know really what our classes can do or anything like that. And we are finding out along with the audience as we go along. It's a great deal of fun. Noah is an incredible GM, and I am playing again with Sam and Kat, because literally any excuse to collaborate with Sam is one that I will jump on. But that's me. And just on a personal note, it's been so much fun playing with 3 people I've never played with before, on a system that, I'll be completely honest, hand on heart, I'm still coming to terms with, but like is incredibly fun. You should definitely back on Kickstarter. I know I have, and I know that I will definitely be picking this up again at some point, with more 80s ridiculousness. Anyway, that's me. I've rambled for long enough. Please move to someone more interesting.
First of all, you're incredibly interesting, and your voice is wonderful. I personally love listening to Forgotten Path. And speaking of Forgotten Paths, Sam.
Me. I am Sam, and I stream normally Monday through Friday, but this entire next week I'll be out of town, as well as hosting for Gaming Community Expo GCX, which is happening next weekend in Orlando, Florida. So if you're going to be there, that'd be, sick dope to see you there. They're currently going through their charity block, which is a week-long, 24 hours a day charity stream to raise for St. Jude. So that's a thing if you are interested in. It's twitch.tv/GCX event, as well as I'm on Canter Breakers and in that Forgotten Paths podcast, which is actually really great to listen to Ed's voice, because his like New York, Boston, Jersey mix of an accent is beautiful.
It's definitely a deliberate choice, that mix. That mix is definitely a deliberate choice.
It's super great. But while I am away for the next 2 weeks, I do have YouTube videos coming out for my Endwalker Final Fantasy XIV playthrough. So if you're interested in that, you can find me on YouTube. Just type Just Sam, JUSTSEUM. But other than that, find me on social medias, also at that username, Just Sam, JUSTSEUM, over here on Twitch, Just Sam, SEUM. So thank y'all so much. I had so much fun.
Thank you for playing. Okay, who should I go to next? I'm gonna surprise one of you. I'm gonna go to Stella.
I held my breath. Hi, I'm Stella Luna on Twitch, Stella Luna TV on all other social media. I am a TTRPG producer, and I do a lot of different TTRPG things. The most interesting thing that I have coming up is I'm going to be playing a little more of Everyday Heroes. I'm going to be over at youtube.com/goodtimesociety June 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't know what I'm going to be playing yet. It's going to be really interesting and fun. And you should definitely give me a follow on Twitter, because I'm going to be cast in a really big, really cool thing that I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but I want to talk about it. So if you want the info, you got to follow me. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me here. And Ed, I'm so glad that I met you. You are amazing. You are top tier. This is one of the best miniseries I've ever been a part of.
Oh, thank you.
I picked Ed for a very good reason. I saw this game and I was like, there's only Ed can GM this. So I can't think of anyone else.
You are all very kind. Thank you.
And Pi.
Yeah, so rounding it out for everyone, my name is Pi. I have had a blast in these 3 sessions. I found myself at multiple points forgetting that I needed to say stuff, because I was just so wrapped up in the story and just entranced in what was going on. So I very much look forward to and hope that we can continue exploring this universe in some way, shape, or form. You can find me on Twitch. I'm the head producer with Dicey Amazons, all one word, and we stream a multitude of things, from TTRPGs to pop culture to science to video games. It's all over the place. Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter, where I basically just retweet other people's posts at the Fung Fu Pi. And yeah, I look forward to the next time that Drak pings me on Twitter and it's like, hey, you got some time coming up soon? Because fuck yes, I do.
I'm gonna, again, like, all of these people are like the immediate people to come to mind when I went to start reaching out for this game. So I am not surprised that was amazing, but I'm very excited. I'm happy that I got to experience it. But yeah, I'll end things with hi. I'm Drak, or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. It's DRAKONIQES. One of the co-founders of French Roll Dice, the channel you're on now. And I also kind of stream all over the place. So if you follow me there, you can figure out what I'm doing at any given moment. because all of you are here, I'll give you like a sneak peek on something that's going to be happening, which is very cool. So first, my normal schedule is that on Tuesdays, over on Table Story at 5 p.m. Eastern, I'm in a little homebrew campaign called Kingmakers. Slap so many content warnings on there. Yeah, it's traumatic if you're not ready for it. But it's very good. A very fun role players I get to role play with. On Wow, I did this last time. I don't have anything. I had a lot of finales. I think this week was a week of finales for me. Usually you can find me on Fridays on Two Times in Parliament of Hours for all villain campaign called I said it Parliament of Hours, but we had that finale yesterday. But every third Sunday of the month you can hear my voice on Actual Play Podcast called Super Idols RPG, where I kind of play like Sailor Moon plus pop idols mushed together. My character's named Jaden. He's a sweetheart. And a little, I guess, sneak peek thing is that on the 19th of June, I'm gonna be over on Q Times again and guessing as my character Will W. Walton in the game called Power Play, which is a superhero campaign. No one knows, not even the cast members know that I'm gonna be guesting. So all of you get like a secret sneak peek to that. Don't tell anyone. But that's pretty much it from me. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. Thank you all of you for playing and GMing, Ed. Thank you so much. Again, if you put exclamation point Kickstarter or just look it up, Evil Genius Games has this on Kickstarter. Back it, please. I think Stella's told me just now that it's like over 100% funded. So which means jump in now so you can get all of the stretch goals and everything as well. But we'll see you next time on Friends Roll Dice with I believe Mind of the Martyr on Monday. But until then, bye and have fun. Have a great weekend.
Bye.